this.
Oh,
Yeah,
sad.
just don't play. I know. I understand. But they said, they followed up by saying something like,
Love in Jesus.
yeah, we believe in prayer.
I love it. Christmas trees sell up in March.
Yeah, we believe in prayer. I'm like, oh wow, okay. I'm not sure you're spreading a lot of fear. You're telling me don't shake hands and don't hug. And you also tell me at the same time for me to focus on prayer. Okay, I get it. So anyway, it's interesting. Well, you know, we've been talking about, we started with the message on fear a couple of weeks ago. And then last week we talked about a shift in the kingdom. And today we're going to talk about let thy corona kingdom come. Now, it's very different. It's a different message. I don't even know where we're going. I know where the Lord is going. It's exciting, but at the same time it's fearful because everything with the Lord is like, You know, you talked about madness or chaos, madness. Many people don't know, but it's in the midst of madness that the work of God explodes the most. When we're reading the book of Acts, we're focusing on Peter and John raising that lame man. Remember? In Acts chapter 3? Oh yeah. Silver and gold have I none, but all that I have I give to you. In the name of Jesus Christ, rise up and walk. And we're focused on a lot of the miracles that were happening. But in the midst of that miracle, there was a lot of what we will call bad things that were happening. In the midst of all those miracles that we're reading and we say, yeah, praise God, there was a lot of terror going on. Remember, it was the same time that the guy called Saul was out looking for Christians and killing people. In the midst of all those miracles, in the midst of the coronavirus, God has a message. I say that it's a cleansing message. A cleansing. Because there's a time of separation. There's a time for people to understand who the Lord really is. We have almost, I was going somewhere today and I saw identity. And I said, oh wow, it's almost as if we've changed the identity of the Lord. We've made him into who he's not. And there's a time when the Lord has to come in this person the way he does and says, listen, I need to show you who I really am. And so I see this as a cleansing, and it's almost as a separation. If you want to continue to believe in the kind of image of the Lord, maybe it's time for you to see who he really is. It's a cleansing. It's it's kind of like if you have something that has been marred, that has been kind of like a glass that has stains or dust on it for a long time, you don't really see what it is anymore. After a while, it's like the image is completely different. And so to me, I think that we're looking at an image that's marred. It's not the right image. And God wants to cleanse that. The cleansing of God, he does it in so many different ways. But today I'm excited to see, let thy corona kingdom come. So the only thing I have, beloved, is a cleansing. But I know that the Lord has much more. So I'm excited to hear what the Lord has. He has much more.
Well, there's 2 acts tonight, so we might have intermission.
Oh.
If you guys need a cup of coffee.
All right. Well,
Because this is so amazing to me. Lord, you're a good God. Let thy corona kingdom come. How do we start, Lord? What does corona mean? Does anybody know? Besides beer.
Crown.
Huh?
Crown.
No. What is corona like? I know it's beer. But that's about it. That's all I knew before God asked me to look it up.
Well, it's a Spanish word for crown. That's what I
Okay. But the English meaning of it, there's meaning of it in the English dictionary as well. So yes, you're right. It means crown. Corona, and I want you to keep this in mind as we go in. This message is not about the coronavirus. This message is about God. And God's judgment and God's chosen few, and to give us the faith not in ourselves, but faith in who God has made us. And also an understanding of the fact that God, this coronavirus that's going on right now, is sent from God. It's not sent from the devil. I'll prove it with the meaning. Do you know what corona means?
No, I don't. I actually don't know.
Corona is a word for the sun rain that comes out from the sun. You can only see it when there's a full eclipse. It's an aura of the sun.
It's an aura.
That can only be seen when the sun is completely blocked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But I just want I usually wait with those things till the middle or the end.
Yeah.
But we need to remember that corona, I don't know why they named this virus the coronavirus. If I was the CEO of Corona Beer, I would be like, why? Nobody's gonna want to drink my beer. It's like Dos Equis is like, yeah, man, you know, like, yeah, stay thirsty, my friends. I'm not Corona, you know.
I wonder if it's affecting the sales of.
Of course it is. Everything affects
Oh, it is?
everything.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
I would be so mad if I was like, why? Why are you naming it Corona? That's like calling it like Heineken virus. It's like, come on, vodka virus, like absolute virus. I'm like, what are you gonna pick? What's next?
Wow. Yeah.
The Wells Fargo virus, or like Bank of America virus, or like, you know, African American virus. I mean, who do we want to blame next? We're already blaming the Chinese, and I guess they want to put some of that blame on the Mexicans. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really wonder what that costs.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wonder how they came up with these names.
Oh wow.
But I know what corona means. And we're going to get more into the science of it. Today's sermon is mixed between prophecy, Bible study, and science, and fun,
Great.
and socializing. So we have a lot to cover, so we're already going to move in because everybody knows what's going on. Everybody's moving. There's no toilet paper at Fry's. They're out of toilet paper. My mom is texting me, they won't come here. She's texting me, oh, I got cough medicine, headache medicine, and whiskey. Do you think I'm gonna be okay? I said, you wouldn't be fine with just the whiskey. Take the rest back. If you can't get corona, buy some
Rinse
whiskey.
yourself with some whiskey. Yeah.
But I am stooped, and I am actually disgusted by the fact that the first thing that the grocery store runs out of is toilet paper. I mean, you're more concerned about wiping your ass than about than about eating and drinking and being married. I'm like, if we have 3 days to live, Alex, I would not buy toilet paper. You know what I would? You know what I use my money on? Lobster, oysters, champagne, Patron. The Patronavirus is coming. It's much stronger than Corona. You know, Corona is just light beer. Wait until the tequila kills you. What I'm saying, it's just the hypocrisy of this. Like, isn't that an image of the world? We're too concerned about having a clean butt than having a clean heart.
Yeah.
People are buying water and toilet paper. I'm not saying that is wrong. I'm just saying it's interesting. It shows a picture of humanity and what we're really afraid of. We're scared to have an itchy bum bum,
Yeah.
not to have an itchy heart. If there was toilet paper for our spirit, it has been long gone.
Yeah.
Not because people are buying it, because nobody was buying it. So if there was some toilet paper to wipe our sin off, where's that? No, like you shared before we started, people aren't allowed to touch each other in church or anywhere.
No hugs, no shake hands.
So what if toilet paper contains some virus that's gonna, give you an STD when you wipe? Don't touch the toilet paper.
Yeah.
So we're not allowed to actually put a healing hand on anyone.
No.
We're not allowed to care for anyone. That's all my introduction. Again, everybody knows I'm just setting the stage for where we're going, because what you're going to hear, what I heard today, it's awesome and it is difficult. And believe you me, this is the word of the day and the times. And this is, like I said, this is only part 1 of Let Thy Corona Kingdom Come. The coronavirus is sent by God. The coronavirus is something that God has prophesied from way long have not understood. I'll prove it with a question. When we read about the prophets like Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Amos, all these prophets, right, Alex? My beloved, we look at them and then we want to prove the prophecies correct in the New Testament, right? Or in the past, right? What's the only prophecy that is yet to come? I mean, realistically, what we all think.
Well, the prophecies that in regards to the end of time.
Yeah, Jesus is coming back, the rapture.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
Oh, we have been mistaken. We have sadly mistaken. We think that everything has happened just because we can pinpoint or define an event and type, oh yeah, that's that. God has opened up our eyes and our ears. And I'm just going to let him talk. And let him talk to you. Like he did to me. All it does is having an understanding. The impending judgment on the earth. Isaiah prophesied today, this year, 2020. And we're going to get back to the whole solar system effects and solar ray winds. You talked about winds earlier this month.
Yeah.
What makes plasma come out of the earth are solar winds. The only way that plasma has the power to leave the earth to cause that corona is because they are too charged. You can fly because I'm too charged up.
Oh wow.
I'm telling you that there is a reason why it's named corona, and I'm sorry, it's not because of fear. But we're gonna move into Isaiah chapter 24. And so remember, the corona can only be seen by the naked eye when there's a solar eclipse. What does that mean? When it looks like God is nowhere. There was a solar eclipse when Jesus died.
Oh yeah, everything went dark.
The plasma that causes the corona is expelled by solar wind. And that's when the streams of charged particles is released from the sun, and this is what's called corona. So I need you to understand what I'm saying, because this is not a virus. These are highly charged ions being expelled by the sun, the winds of the sun. Now, I'm talking half that. I'm not a crazy, like, sort of mystical person. I'm just saying, look at the imagery here. And they only escape the gravity of the sun, which is a million times more than the earth, because they're too charged up. Okay, so, with that in mind, let's go into the corona kingdom. The impending judgment on the earth. This is Isaiah. Isaiah has a lot of things to say. He had a lot of prophecies. We think that we know them, but the coronavirus itself has proven that we don't know a lot of things. Behold, the Lord makes the earth empty and makes it waste, distorts its surface and scatters abroad its inhabitants. Abroad its inhabitants. What are we blaming the spread of the coronavirus on, Alex?
People traveling, they're sick.
Spreading it abroad, right?
Yeah.
That's what's being blamed. Look at there's a lot of detail here. That's going to hone in on the point. Okay, scatters abroad its inhabitants, which is exactly what has been happening. It shall be as with the people, so with the priest, and with the servant, and with its master, and with the maid, and with her mistress, and with the buyer, and with the seller, and with the lender, and so with the borrower, and with the creditor, and with the debitor. Okay, it doesn't matter who you are. If the virus is going to kill you, it'll kill you. It doesn't matter if you're President Trump or if you're some guy in Somalia. This virus does not need your passport for it to enter you. It's the scariest thing for people because it's spread through the air, much like the plague. So, like I said, it's going to be tough. And if we stay awake, there's some good news at the end. Not for all, but for those who stay awake.
Sounds like my
So
pastor
if
when
you
I was
need
growing
coffee,
up.
just let me know.
That
You
sounds
don't
like
want
that
to miss
church
the
in
end.
Nigeria.
Oh, the land shall be the inverse of what happened to Job. Job was what God called the most faithful one in all the earth. And because he was the most faithful, he was inflicted and attacked by the devil. Well, what's God gonna do? Okay, well, the most faithful I'm not gonna touch this time. But I am gonna touch those that are not faithful. Let's see how they handle it. And I can guarantee you they will not handle it like Job. Is anybody handling this like Job?
No.
No. No.
Wow.
And this is only the beginning.
Wow.
It's only the beginning, Alex. This thing is gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. There is no hope for some people. There's no prayers that you can say, oh, we want to pray.
No.
Because why? Because the Lord has spoken this word. You're going to pray against what God has spoken? The earth mourns and fades away. The world languishes and fades away. The haughty people of the earth languish. The earth is also defiled under its inhabitants, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. What's that, Alex? What's the everlasting covenant? Beloved, what's the everlasting covenant? What is it that I've broken? Is it sin? It talks about defiled and transgressed. But the breaking is the everlasting covenant. Does anyone know what the everlasting covenant is? Because I didn't, I will admit it, I looked it up.
Is the everlasting covenant the covenant that was made with Noah?
You looked it up.
No, I didn't. It just came to me now. No,
You're
it
in
just
the spirit.
No, it just came now. Remember?
Yes!
You asked me, I never knew it.
Yes, I asked you earlier, like 2 hours ago. I said, don't
I-
look it up because
No,
you didn't
I
know
never-
you didn't know the answer until now. So
Yeah,
I guess God worked on you.
But just now.
God,
Just
yeah.
now, it just came back.
Yes,
The
yeah.
everlasting covenant was, that was made to Noah.
How come we don't know the everlasting
Wow.
covenant that God made with all creation? Not just Noah. Let's go there. Genesis 9.
Wow.
This is so important because nobody knows what the everlasting covenant is. But yet we want to live with God. Genesis chapter 9. Oh my Lord. Okay, here we go. We're going to start 9 verse 1. This is God's promise to Noah and us if we just read on. So God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, he also killed his sons later on. Remember that. Be fruitful and multiply. Okay. And fill the earth. Has the earth not been filled, Alex? Is it not overpopulated? And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be on every beast of the earth, on every bird of the air, on all that move on the earth, and on all the fish of the sea. They are given into your hand. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. I have given you all things. God gave us all things, even as the green herbs. I'm not going to go there. But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood. Surely, listen to this part. Surely for your lifeblood, for your lifeblood, beloved, for your lifeblood, Alex, for your lifeblood, I will demand. Red light, stop right there. We need to know what God demands of us. I demand a reckoning. Reckoning means payoff. I thought Jesus Christ paid it all. I demand a reckoning from the hand of every beast I will require of it, and from the hand of man. From the hand of man and every man's brother, I require the life of man. What does that mean? It means you have to die. Not that Jesus has to die for you. You have to die for God, like Jesus did. And I'm going to read the next quote that is written here. And God made it personal for me. Whoever sheds Sophia's blood, by Sophia his blood shall be shed. For in the image of God he made Sophia. And as for you, be fruitful and multiply, bring forth and abundant in the earth, and multiply in it. This isn't spoken to Noah. This is the everlasting covenant. This is the covenant that we've forgotten. Remember Abraham's covenant. We don't remember this. Then God spoke to Noah and to his sons, saying, As for me, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your descendants, aka everyone that came out of Noah, which is aka the whole population, the whole earth. I establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the cattle, every beast of the earth is with you, of all that go out of the ark, every beast on the earth. Thus I establish my covenant with you. Never again shall all flesh be cut off from the waters of the flood. Never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth. But now we have a flood. The flood didn't even destroy all flesh. I believe that there was an ark with 2 by 2 they walked in, right?
Right.
The flood did not destroy all flesh. God never promised that he wouldn't kill people off again. He just promised they wouldn't be by a flood.
Right.
People don't see like that. And so he goes on quickly. And God said, This is the sign of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I mean, forever. Forever. Today. Tomorrow. Forever. I set my rainbow in the clouds. It shall be a sign between the covenant of you and me. It shall be when I bring a cloud over the earth that a rainbow shall be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant. Wow, God needs to remember. My covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. The water shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. The rainbow shall be in the cloud, and I will look on it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is in the earth. It's a covenant between all flesh and God. And we don't even know what it is. I didn't even know what it was. Okay. So we've gone from the flood to the flood. That just scared a lot of people. Noah. I mean, I don't need to talk about, everybody knows what happened during the flood. Noah was preaching a message that the flood was coming. No, he was ridiculed. He was hated. He wanted people to enter his ark, but they were just laughing at him for building an ark. Imagine for a second that ark in today's world is the ark that Jesus Christ built while he was here. He built a way for us to be saved from this flood. Noah built this ark for very many years. Jesus Christ has been building his ark for about 2,000 years. Since he died, he's been trying to, he says, on this rock I will build my church. Well, his church is an ark, isn't it? But we've just been ridiculing Jesus. Because we believe that we know him. Let your minds go there for a second, because it's the only thing that will save you. Medicine will not save people that are meant to die by this flu. No man will save. It sounds very scary and depressing, but I mean, God, can you imagine God made an everlasting covenant? We claim the word of Jesus Christ and salvation, but we have no idea who God really is. Cleansing, yeah, cleansing in the fact that I believe that this whole area, beginning now, is like God finally flushed the toilet. It sounds scary, but there's gonna be a twirling and a whirling and flushing out of what God doesn't like, and it goes on. Because they've broken everlasting covenant. because we didn't even know it. Therefore, the curse has devoured the earth, and those who dwell in it are desolate. Therefore, the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men are left. Just like few men were left in the flood. Few men are left. Few men are left. The new wine fails. The wine languishes, which means it weakens, it grieves. All the merry-hearted sigh. The mirth of the tambourine ceases, the music stops. The noise of the jubilant ends. The joy of the harp ceases, it gets quiet. Ha! Wow! The church stops meeting. People turn against people. What made you once happy that your money no longer has a value? The things that you enjoyed before, finally you realize that, yeah, you have no control. And the music stops. The fantasy or the delusion goes away, and we finally have to deal with silence. God's people had to deal with silence for a long time after Jesus died. We're going to deal with a lot of silence because the sun is going to go into eclipse, so that corona can be exposed. You don't have to believe me, you will see it. Because this is not something that Isaiah prophesied about the end times. I mean, the study notes are like, oh yeah, Isaiah paints a picture of the devastation during the coming judgment of the entire world. Well, welcome to the eternal judgment of the entire world. It's been going on. But now that we have been fruitful and populated the earth, according to the covenant of Noah, he will prune it. He will prune it. He will prune it. Okay, so it's quiet. And there we go. Strong drink is bitter to those who drink it. The city of confusion is broken down, which is Jerusalem. You can replace that with Christianity today. Not going to call any specific church, or you can call it religion as a whole. You can call it Buddhism, whatever it is you're going to replace that, something, belief in a higher power, right? It's the city of confusion is finally broken down. Basically saying, God is going to pull down some pants.
He's already doing it.
Exactly. This is exactly what's happening now. You cannot argue with God's word because these words have been spoken, which is why there has been nothing that has been done other than isolation to control this thing. It's uncontrollable. It doesn't look at you if you're rich or poor, young or broken. How does it judge? God has already said the word.
Wow.
God has already said the word. If God has spoken, it cannot be unspoken. I know that sounds harsh, but it's supposed to actually give some comfort, at least to the few men that are left. Okay, we're going somewhere here. So the strong drink is bitter to those who drink. See, the strong drink, what is that, Alex? What's the strong drink I was talking about here? In your mind.
Mine says something alcoholic.
Yeah, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, anything that
Alcohol.
gives you pleasure, yeah.
Yes, it
gives
tastes
you
bitter.
pleasure. Now it doesn't.
That's
give
why
pleasure.
there's so much alcohol in the stores and no toilet paper. Because no one wants to drink
But
bitterness.
that's funny because when I went to the store, I actually passed the aisle of alcohol and I saw that it was full.
It's full.
And I had a funny thought that wow, that's different. Yeah, that's what I said to myself. Wow, that's different. It's full. But the
God,
aisle of the everything else like water, is all like gone at this price.
Water's
I don't know
gone.
whether that's the place where you are,
now we're entering the fun part
but yeah.
of the message.
Oh, Corona.
The nada.
What?
That's good.
We ain't scared of no corona.
Skull.
Squad.
School.
Skull.
We're we're gonna say a cheers, and then we're gonna take a little bit of a breather from all the hard prophetic words from Isaiah, and then we're gonna dig back into it. So this here, right here, if you believe it, is something that will prevent. If you want an antivirus, an antidote, my grandmother has proven it. She's almost 100. She drinks a beer every day. So I say, let thy Corona kingdom come.
Corona Extra.
Yeah, extra. Let's go on.
Skull.
Yeah, Corona sales, you're welcome.
I'm sure they didn't slash the price.
I know.
Yeah, of course.
See, it's funny because I wrote some things down because I'm not a scientist, but beer actually has a lot of healing power.
Oh yeah, of course.
Beer is made out of hops.
Yeah.
Hops is high in pyrethrogen that has been used in herbal medicine since the 1400s. It helps treat and prevent cancer and gives you a healthy heart. It traces back to even, listen to this, it traces back to the traditional Chinese medicine. Hello?
I believe it.
Yeah. So we're willing to accept traditional healing Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
But when the coronavirus comes, we start killing off the Chinese.
Yeah.
What the heck is wrong with that?
Yeah.
So many things. We are so quick to go to Tao and to go to get Chinese herbs and to be healed by it. You've even gone to the store. The other healing power. Oh, but whoa. When God wants to heal the world, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy that God sees is severe.
It is. Yeah.
Hops is a sedative. It heals insomnia because you get drunk and you fall asleep. It heals depression. It heals nervousness. So if you're worried about Corona, have a Corona.
Yeah.
That's what their commercial should be.
Oh wow.
It heals anxiety.
That's how they should.
It increases the production, the function of the spleen and the gallbladder, and it detoxifies your body. So don't feel bad.
Yeah.
If the world is gonna end, at least go down drunk. Oh man.
Don't let the strong drink taste bitter to you.
No, it tastes wonderful.
Yeah. let it-
Eat, drink, and be merry.
That's what someone said.
Exactly. See, the Corona, which is a beer that we're drinking, having some fun with the name, but the fact that it is tied to the sun, and this is the last part I'm going to say about this because it's not something that should be dismissed because it's not something that is understood. But I will preface it with a question. What happens to you, Alex, if you lay in the sun for 6 hours without sunscreen?
Sunburn.
Sunburn. So the sun affects you. Yeah, it's obvious. What happens when the sun goes down? Does it get cold?
Yes.
Yeah, when the sun beams shine on ice, it melts, right? So we can all agree that the sun has an effect on us in the world.
Yeah.
It can give you skin cancer, it can give you a vitamin, I forget the vitamin E or
D.
D, exactly, that heals us. So something that's so far away has an effect on us. And we can see the effects. I know I've had some.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Red face, okay. Does anybody here know about sun cycles?
Sun cycle.
Sun cycles. I didn't know about sun cycles, but I'm only bringing this just because it makes sense. So we are in sun cycle 24. You tell me that right before full moon, there's a lot of things going on in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, people go, I get very emotional or angry or you know, sad. Like my emotions are like to the nth degree,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Like Mercury retrograde?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
My mom,
It's true.
but right before full moon, she
For
she
years.
freaks out. She goes and cleans the bathroom every full moon. I'm like, whoa, at least I just yell and scream. You wish I would clean the bathroom. I'm not that refined yet. You always warn me, you're like, there's a low full moon. We need to like
Yeah, exactly.
keep that in mind. And I was like, yeah, okay, don't get mad when I get mad.
Just yeah.
People are crazy, people drive crazy. Anyways, you can look into that on your own. But cycle 24 began in 2008. Sun cycles are about 11 years. So this sun cycle is going to end at the end of 2020.
Oh.
So forget about full moon. What about we think about full sun?
Oh.
And what happens? You agreed that we get sunburn. I know we don't, we can't explain these things. And I'm not trying to say that I have an answer. But we cannot deny the sun cycles. And the fact that this prophecy is in this sun cycle, at the end of this sun cycle, no scientist that I read can predict what's going to happen in sun cycle 25. How? They've been able to predict it before. It's like predicting, kind of like your horoscope, but there's something blocking it. Is there even anything to predict?
Wait a minute. They can't predict it?
They can't
Because-
say with full certainty, but they have a lot of, I guess they have a lot of different opinions on how they are understanding what's that. There's a lot of confusion. It's a city of confusion.
Wow.
And so even though they have been able to use like historical data
Yeah.
to predict other sun cycles,
Yeah, but
this one is harder.
Wow.
It's a city of confusion.
Oh my goodness.
And so,
That's interesting.
also,
Wow.
there's so much more. I'm not saying, I'm saying take it as you want it.
Yeah.
But this sun cycle is one that had a double peaked solar max.
Oh, wow. What's
Yeah,
that?
which means that there were 2 peaks of the greatest activity.
Ah,
And I'll let you do the research afterwards if you doubt anything I said. I'd love to be saying corrected. But they have proven that sun cycles affect organisms. It affects the atomic, I'm not a scientist, but the atomic outreach of organisms. So,
Huh.
coronavirus at the end of sun cycle 24. Affecting organisms.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out of a region that is very famous for its medical
Medical
Herbal.
herbs, yeah.
healing.
Healing.
I mean, forget what they believe in, right? If God has been able to give the earth herbal medicine from China
Oh, yeah.
since the beginning of time, and now one time, he gives a judgment. Oh, we hate China. One incident. We hate all Chinese. We hate China. I'm pretty sure that those Chinese herbal medicine places are like going out of business. But we were so quick to go there when no medicine, no doctor could help us.
Oh, yeah.
We would go and be like, oh, I need some balm. Oh, I need some herbs.
Yeah.
But now, we're not loyal to that, even that. What are we loyal to then? What are we loyal to? This is a sign of the times. We're ending the full sun,
Wow.
where the ions and the plasma of the sun are actually gonna, like, they are so charged that they are not confined by the solar gravity.
Wow.
And Corona comes out. Double max. Double Corona.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I'll let you take that as you want to take it, as we read on and get serious for a minute.
Yeah. I'm trying to prove what you said by the
Oh, go ahead,
scripture.
take your time.
There's a scripture in the book of Joel. I know we don't pay attention a lot to that. Come on, Joel. Where are you?
Oh, no, we got time.
Yeah, I'm looking for Joel here.
I'll have a chip. It's really time to go back slowly.
Yeah. Come on, Joel. Obadiah.
That just means it's there.
Yeah, of course it's there. Obadiah.
There's something about the sun and the stars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
I think
there.
I have a, I don't know
Yeah,
the
but-
exact
yeah, I
scripture,
know.
but I
But
remember.
I'm trying to, kind of
No, we're
confirm
gonna go there.
what was said in science to what God said in the book of Joel, which is interesting because all these things seem to be, I mean,
Everything is connected.
Everything is connected. I like what you rightly said. I know you said, don't think of what they don't believe in, the Chinese. God still provided herbs.
Yes.
You know, regardless of whether you like him, you don't like him, you worship him, this herbs are good. He didn't say, oh, just for these people. No, so it was still provided. And
People
Chinese.
accept medicine from
Oh.
medical companies that are working. And when you're sick, you'll go to anyone.
Yeah. Yep.
to have healing.
Hey, I went to the Chinese. I did.
Mhm.
When I had those rashes. And I drank the tea and I was cured. And they gave me antibiotic medicine that did nothing for me. I took antibiotics, nothing happened.
Yeah.
That's why I went to the Chinese medicine and I drank.
Did you have faith in the Chinese man? Or did you have faith that God led you there?
God led me there for
Just
sure.
like Peter was led to
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
To eat unholy food.
Yeah.
He was led there for a reason.
It was herbs. I don't know why I keep missing jokes, so I'm gonna go. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah, I don't know why I just keep skipping Joe. Sorry, Joel. Yeah.
You've never.
I don't. So all of a
So
sudden
there must be
now.
something there.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, I got my Corona while we wait.
Okay. Joe, 2, 3, 92. Okay. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the smaller coronas? They're called coronitas.
Mm-mm.
I heard someone say once because in Spain, corona is like the reference to the queen, like the crown.
Oh.
Oh.
So they don't
okay.
sell these because.
Oh,
they're
it's
not
an
allowed.
offense. Okay.
So then
They
I don't
came
know
up
if that's
with
why they
something
created with coronitas, which they're just smaller.
Princess.
and
I like that. They don't sell it in Spain. Come on.
Yeah, so here we go in the book of Job. It starts with a familiar passage when we say, it shall come to
Job
pass. 2:28.
Okay.
You know that?
Yeah, it
familiar
should come to
passage?
pass that all men bubble up.
Yeah, the spirit on all flesh. Or pour a spirit on all flesh. You were talking about all flesh.
Yeah.
Everlasting covenant, all flesh. But let's scroll down in verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness.
Yes.
What
The
does
corona
that
is
say?
coming out.
Exactly. The sun.
The corona is coming.
Exactly. The sun.
And the corona is
Yeah,
here.
and I just want to prove that by all the science, but here's the word of God that's also saying the same thing, obviously. Everything is connected. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood. Now, again, a lot of people have been looking more at the moon to blood, but not the sun turned to darkness, before the coming of the great and awesome day.
Yes.
Great and awesome day.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so at the end of it says, among the remnant whom the Lord calls. So just like Isaiah said, a few, this also is saying only a few.
There you cannot
So
choose your own destiny. That's
No,
why
you
people are freaking out.
yeah, because all of a sudden they
They're more
realize,
concerned about having enough toilet paper for their butts.
yeah,
Because the word has already been spoken. And once the word has been spoken, God will not take it back. He has been long suffering. Anyways, I'm going to let Isaiah say
let
it.
Isaiah say it.
I'm going to let Isaiah say it. So the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up. Oh, schools are shut up. Chinese places are shut up. Everything is shut up.
Beloved, in Italy, all the schools are shut down.
There, so that none may go in. Listen, this is so true. There is a cry for wine in the streets. They're crying for the blood of Jesus. Isn't everybody praying? All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Mirth is gladness. In the city of desolation is left, and the gate is stricken with destruction. When it shall be thus in the midst of the land, among the people, it shall be like the shaking of an olive tree.
Uh-oh.
This means, how do you get olives off a tree? You think you pick them like apples? No. You take them and you shake the branches, and you have to be very careful so you don't break the branches. But everything falls off. All the fruit falls off, and it goes to the ground. Like the gleaning of grapes when the vintage is done. Oh wow, vintage is a reference to the really best wine. Best wine only, I know too much about this, but it only comes around about every 11 years, kind of like the solar cycle.
Every 11 years.
About, give or take a couple years. But you don't want to glean after that year. It's gross. It's gross wine.
Oh.
It's gross wine. But it's like gleaning of grapes when vintage is done. Vintage has been done. And now gleaners are coming, right? Now people are actually praying to God, trying to glean
Oh,
His
wow.
mercy. The vintage is gone.
The vintage is
The
gone.
best wine that Jesus has created was not the wine at the wedding. It is the wine that is in those that accepted Him here before the fear. It's those that He has pressed hard and aged well
Praise God.
and made beautiful. But now all of a sudden there's gleaners that want some of that. Okay, of course.
Oh, it's like the whole 5 virgins, the 10 virgin story, and yeah. The other ones want to give me some oil. Give me some oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the vintage was already done.
But the vintage.
The
is
best
gone.
5 virgins were already there.
Yeah. Wow.
And then Isaiah says a funny thing. He says, they shall lift up their voice, they shall sing. Oh wow. everyone always says, oh, those are the few people, those are the remnant, like, right? No, he never refers to people as they. When he refers to people as they, and I don't know this, God knows this, it's angels. They shall lift up their voice. Angels worship God every day, all hours of every day. They shall lift up. So all this is happening in the world. Everyone's dying, right?
Yeah.
It looks like destruction from our eyes. Oh, finally the angels are like, yeah!
Yeah.
The angels don't feel sorrow.
Oh no.
The angels do not get sad because their job is to worship God. They don't care about people.
Yeah, pro God.
They don't care if they've been sent to you. They're so happy. Like God even had to restrain the hand of the angel that killed everyone.
Yeah.
Like they have no bad feelings. All they do, they just love God,
Yeah. And
which
they
is
just
what
obey.
we are supposed to do as well.
Yeah, they just obey.
But we have more feelings towards humans than towards God.
False compassion.
So they shall lift up their voice. They shall sing for the majesty of the Lord. Finally, finally, the angels are saying, God, you're not made belittled. Finally.
Oh wow.
For the majesty of the Lord, they shall cry from the sea. Therefore glorify the Lord in the dawning light. The name of the Lord of Israel in the coastlands of the sea. From the ends of the earth we have heard songs. Glory to the righteous. Angels are finally happy. The ones that they have been sent to protect finally are called righteous. They're left. That excites the angels because they have seen the good ones being put in the mud. And they have seen wickedness and their hands have been restrained.
Oh yeah.
Because God wanted the corona to finish it off. Oh, they're so happy. Glory to the righteous.
To the righteous.
But Isaiah said, Sophia said, I am ruined, woe to me.
Wow.
Yes, that is what we all should say. Compared to the angels and compared to God, whoa, I am ruined.
Yeah.
It is not saying, yeah, I don't gotta go to church every Sunday, I'm saved, I say my prayers. Isaiah, who's even given the prophecy, he's saying, whoa, I am ruined. Woe to me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Hazardous. The guilty, the hazardous, have dealt with hazards. Flu. Biomedical warfare.
Wow.
The greatest new application of Satan. He doesn't even need to make guns. All he needs to do is have people even believe that there's a virus and they will fall dead.
Oh yeah.
If you can just believe in God and be healed, then what if the coronavirus is actually biologically just doesn't exist at all? Oh, we believe it! I mean, there's not a person that can be on state that doesn't believe in the coronavirus and it just started at the end of last year. God has been around forever and they won't believe in it! It is not time.
Yeah.
If you're so quick to accept the punishment and the destiny of the coronavirus, do you even believe in God?
Yeah.
Isn't God greater?
Yeah.
But you accept something that you can't see. You don't even know for a fact that it exists. You don't know the science of it. And you call yourself a believer in God that you cannot see? And you wonder why you die? God does not wonder. He doesn't know you because you don't know him. Because you were so quick to believe in some stupid virus or whatever they call it. You believed in the news. You believed in the trend. You believed in the prediction. You believed in the numbers. You believe all this, and then you put on a face mask and you say, "You think you're safe?" God is laughing. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at people that are dying. I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
It is ridiculous. From God's eyes.
Have you asked for proof, Alex? Have you asked for proof that the coronavirus actually exists, that those people actually died?
Yeah.
See, if we were to have the opposite, a revival of people actually healed, oh yeah, we
Yeah,
see
what's
the
that?
number, people are raising from the dead.
Yeah.
If it was a revival instead of a judgment, then there would be, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
I'm not being healed by that. No, they're just doing a hoax over there. God did not have a choice.
Wow.
God did not have a choice.
Wow.
And he had to cover the sun in order to send those charged ions out that defy the gravity of the sun. And because he can't watch, he couldn't watch Jesus die. He doesn't want to watch this either. This will be some of the darkest times that we've ever seen. But the charged atoms cannot but blow in the solar winds and go down. And the angels are rejoicing. They're singing songs. It's quiet, right? We just read that like the jubilant ends, the tambourine ceases, the harp ceases. But the angels can finally have space to sing. Because the righteous will stand. It is going to be, and it is the truth of what will happen.
I know.
How does that make you feel? Good, bad, ugly, fearful, hurtful? I mean, you can't control it. It's the destiny that has been prophesied. The word has been spoken.
Yeah.
You cannot change it.
Yeah.
If God were to change it, then how can we believe in our own salvation?
You
We can't. We can't accept one and not the other. We can't accept salvation by the death of Jesus Christ and not accept judgment by the word of God that has already been spoken through the prophet Isaiah, who also prophesied about the birth of Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't have the embracement of one of his prophecies and not the acceptance of the other.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good, but God is good.
God is good.
God is good. The angels are worshiping him. And it gets better as it gets a little worse. And so, indeed, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Yeah. Which basically means that the hazard that has been sent is going to make people deal treacherously with each other. And we've already seen, you told me that Chinese people have been beaten up on
Today,
the
a
camera.
Chinese guy was beaten up on the street, on Oxford Street in London by 4 punks. They just randomly, because he's Chinese.
Yeah, beloved, it's gonna get way worse.
It's just
It's
weird
gonna
enough.
turn from just not just Chinese to like everyone. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like someone comes to your house because you were in Thailand just recently.
Yeah.
Like everyone
Yeah.
is turning against everyone, which means treachery.
Treachery. Yeah.
It means
Treachery.
the things that you were loyal to, you now hate and you try to kill. That's treachery. It's being disloyal to what you were loyal to.
Yeah.
It's treachery. Treachery.
It's treachery.
We've already seen it.
Oh, okay.
It's only the beginning. Like everybody's like, oh yeah. I'm telling you, you're gonna look back on these days in March, be like, whoa, that wasn't so bad. So
Yeah.
drink up and be merry because it's not bad yet.
Oh.
Skull.
Skull.
Corona. Next is Patron, and that's way harder. I'm just kidding. Oh wow. Okay, so fear. Listen to these words of the prophet. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon you, O inhabitants of earth. Fear is certainly here, the pit's certainly here, and the snare is also there.
Oh yeah, traps, snares,
Fear.
and fear.
And it shall be. Ah, I thought I turned to the Bible for encouragement. It says here, fear and the pit and the snare are upon you, O Sophia, and it shall be. Not saying, oh, but God will give you peace. Oh, God will cleanse you, God will forgive you. No, it shall be there. It shall be there. I like that sentence. And it shall be there. It shall be. For he who flees from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit.
Oh.
And he who comes up from the midst of the pit shall be caught in the snare. God has set booty traps. I'm like, okay, so you fear the coronavirus. Oh yeah, I'm coming for you. I would be very fearful of being fearful of some virus that I cannot see. That's different. I would be very fearful. I heard on the radio as I was going to the store today that the radio announcer was like, oh, I didn't know that it could make such a difference if I wash my hair for the recommended 20 seconds. Singing happy birthday twice. And they had some statistical analysis on how many more germs are dead. Well, I guess you shouldn't be using toilet paper with your hands. I mean, come on! It's crazy! People are washing their hands for 20 seconds. I don't think I've ever washed my hands for 20 seconds. Unless I have paint on them or something. But now we believe in that, right? Now that the fear has come upon us. But I'm saying, if you're running away from this fear, what does it say?
You shall fall.
That he who flees from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit.
Wow.
How about that for a message on the radio? If you fear the coronavirus or anybody Chinese, you're the next victim.
Oh boy.
If that's the truth. If your heart has judged anyone of Chinese descent, if your heart has judged, if the World Health Organization, if the heart has judged anything, From a fearful perspective,
Yeah.
the word has been spoken. You shall surely die.
Fall into the pit.
You shall surely die. It's been spoken not by me. I'm just saying.
It's been spoken. Wow.
And he who comes up from the midst of the pit shall be caught in the snare. So,
No escape.
yeah. Oh, no, they've recovered from the coronavirus.
Well, yeah, really.
Or,
Only to die. of
this is
something
more
else.
futuristic, this is what will happen. Someone will come up with something that is not from God that appears to be in our lives. That's what God is talking about. These are the secrets of God.
I believe
And he who comes up from the midst of the pit. Monsanto came up with the antidote. Everybody take it.
Yeah.
The antidote is in the corona. Believe you me.
Yeah, I believe it.
These are things that are going to come. God continues. For the windows from on high are open. Usually that's like a great thing when we pray for the
Oh yeah.
for the windows of
windows
heaven to rain
open,
down
to
blessings.
rain down blessings. You don't have enough room to receive it. Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
The book of Malachi.
There's also some arrows.
Oh, you pay your tithe.
Arrows are coming down, swords, spit. God is mad. Hello? He doesn't doesn't know you. You know what the Vikings poured out of their windows? Hot oil to kill their enemies.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
And the foundations of the earth are shaken. Well,
Oh.
we can say that for sure. The earth is violently broken. People want to say, oh, earthquake.
Yeah.
It's not about the earth. It's about the people in the earth. Everybody's violently broken. The earth shall be split open. The earth is shaking exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. I guess the earth had too much corona.
Yeah.
I'm laughing, but I'm serious. The earth has had too much corona and they're shaking to and fro like a drunkard. And shall totter like a hut, basically move like a building or a tent in the wind of the sun. Its transgression shall be heavy upon it.
On it.
Not forgiven, Alex. Transgressions are not forgiven in the time of judgment. Because the time has ended. It's kind of like you can't enter a competition after the registration period is over.
Yeah.
Well, the registration period of salvation is over. It's over. And that doesn't mean just because you've been baptized. It's in the heart.
Yeah.
Or has your heart been baptized?
Yeah.
It's not in anything that you've done or anything that you have claimed. It's about your heart. That's why it's a hard message to hear for some. And a very contrite message for others. Heavy upon it. And it will fall and not rise again. Oh, well, I thought God was in the business of resurrection. He's not resurrecting this one.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It shall come to pass that in that day, today, that the Lord will punish on high, not just punish on high, the host of exalted ones. What does that mean? Demons. He's going to first punish the demons. The host of exalted ones. They're the ones that put themselves over people. I believe it's the demons. And on the earth, the kings of the earth, which means people, they will be gathered together. Wow. Two becoming one. Demons and people.
Demons and people.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
wow.
union of demons and people.
Yeah. It happens
As
before.
prisoners are gathered in the pit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You can make a lot of loyal bonds in prison. You watch my back, I got yours.
Yeah.
That's what people will begin to say to demons. And are already saying, by the way. After many days, they will be punished. Many days. Then the moon will be disgraced. Listen, and the sun ashamed. Yeah, we were talking about the sun and the corona.
Yeah.
The sun is ashamed, which means the sun is dark.
Yeah.
For the Lord of hosts will reign on Mount Sinai and in Jerusalem. Listen to this. This is something that's going to be something different to swallow. But it's the Word of God. It's the Bible. He says, "For the Lord of hosts will reign on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before, capital H, his elders, generously, gloriously." So God has elders. That's just a question mark there. That's something that I have never seen before in the Bible. It says, on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem and before his, capital H, elders, gloriously. We don't know anything about God, nor do we desire to know. We think we know him because we read about him. But has your heart actually ventured up on an expedition to really understand God, kind of in the same way that John was put on an island by himself and saw some crazy things? Have you seen crazy things? Have you thought crazy things? This is a crazy world.
It's a crazy time.
This is the impending judgment on the earth. This is what we finally see with our eyes now. That's began a while ago. The word has already been spoken. And what does he say? They shall not rise again. I don't read the news. What are preachers and pastors saying about the coronavirus? How are they encouraging you? Are they encouraging you? You read
I don't know.
Oh, they just ignore it? Okay. So they're already
Yeah.
business as usual.
Don't shake hands and don't hug.
Oh, okay. This is what's gonna happen in
Oh.
one way or another.
Don't come to church. Don't gather. No, they're not saying that yet.
If you're sick, stay away.
If you're sick, stay away. Yeah. Until it gets worse, and then it won't make sense for people to gather. People are not gathering in stadiums and concerts. People are scared. So it's only a matter of time before people are scared to gather in church.
And this prophecy will come to pass because people are too afraid of something that is a virus. But there's no fear of God.
Oh no. Every man for himself.
In fact, when the virus comes along, God seems very little. And we wonder why God allowed it. Didn't he allow it to happen to Job so that his faithfulness could be proven? Yeah. What kind of faith is proven now? That there is no faith. That's the only thing that's been proven.
Massive fear.
That there is no faith.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ was the one that was like hunted down by 10 leprous people. These are lepers. This is an infectious disease as well.
Yeah.
10 lepers, not one, 10. Can you imagine 10 people from China with the coronavirus running after you, Alex?
Full blown.
Running after you saying, Alex, heal us! You're like, get away from me! That's what happened to Jesus. He did not deny them.
Yeah.
He touched them and he healed them. Because he believed in God more than sickness. Knowing that it was not his destiny to die from leprosy.
Yeah.
Do you know your destiny, what you will die of? If it's from the coronavirus, then go to China and minister. If it's not, then go to China and minister also. Have you allowed God to define your destiny, or have we allowed our fears to define it for us? See, those who fear, that's the scary stage. Those who fear will fall into the pit.
Because essentially what this is saying is that if you're fearing...
If you believe it, it shall come on to you.
Yeah, and also, if you have such a fear for that virus that you're gonna die or whatever, it means that your fear of the Lord is less.
It means you have no
It's
fear
less.
of the Lord.
Exactly.
And no faith.
Yeah, and no faith.
God is not partial, which means that, fine, be in control of your own destiny for once. I'm going to go into the dark and let my sun wind take the plasma and charge it with the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So, praise to God is the section that comes after.
Yeah. Do we get an intermission now? Or
You
not?
use that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's intermission time right now. because we're about to move into a different area on this very uplifting message on spread and the continuing spread and the desolation of the earth, the falling down of a lot of people, and the music stopping, the silence beginning, treachery beginning to come, and man against man, and the cry for wine and no joy or anything as the angels are praising God.
Oh wow, that's fun. On that note,
Yeah, I'll be right back.